morning and welcome to our kindergarten orientation. We're so excited to have you come to kindergarten next year and be part of our kindergarten team. We have a great time in kindergarten and we hope you're looking forward to it as much as we are. Some of the things that you may want to think about this summer, we're going to send home just a modified packet, and then in the fall we will give you your full packet that looks like this with some supplies to help you get the year started. Some of the things that you need to be doing at home are,
this is what you'll find in your packet, and you'll have this pamphlet where it will tell you different things that you can do. These are skills that your student will need to have or will be working on in kindergarten. And then down below it talks about things that you can do at home to help. A couple of highlights. Please be working on some small motor skills. It's very important. One of the things we work on a lot is being able to cut, being able to write, and being able to color. So if you can start working on those things, how to hold scissors, how to properly hold a pencil or crayon, that will help us out a lot, because when we're trying to help so many kids all at once, it can get a little bit tricky. So if they have some exposure to that already, that would help out a lot. Also, things that you can do for fine motor skills would be things like playing with Play-Doh, blocks, anything where they're using their hands will help them with those fine motor skills. We are also including an alphabet. If your child has gone to preschool, hopefully they're getting pretty familiar. We want them to know as many letter names and sounds as possible. The more that they know coming in, the easier it's going to be for them to be able to start reading. So we're including this chart. The way that we go through it is we like to point at the capital A, we'd say A, the lowercase a, and then either apple or A, depending on how you want to work on it. But we find that it's easiest if you point to it. So if I were doing this, A, B, B, C, C, K, so that we're getting those letter names and letter sounds and going through it as often as you can. If you just go through it even once a day, that will help a lot. And that's what we found to be one of the fastest ways for your student to learn the alphabet.
and when you get your Google Classroom entrance, there is a video on there that you can do with the chart.
Very good. Also important, just looking ahead, make sure that when it's time to register for fall that you have your child's immunization. So the ones they need are on the paper here. They can't be in school without those, and so please make sure that you have that taken care of. And then there's a couple of other papers that talk about things. One in particular I'd like to point out, please make sure, if at all possible, that your child knows how to write their name. It gets really hard for us when we have lots of kids who can't write their names, and we need to have their names on things so we know whose is whose, and we don't have time to be writing everyone's on. So as much as possible, please make sure that they can write their name. Please practice that, or at least as much of it as they can.
A capital at the beginning and then lowercase letters. It's a really hard habit to break if your child has written their name in all capitals.
So then you can look at these for the rest of them. A lot of it's what I've talked about already, making sure that they can do these different skills that are listed in your packet.
Okay, we have show and tell on Fridays. Show and tell goes along with the letters that we're learning. And right at the beginning we will be doing nursery rhymes. So if you can review or read nursery rhymes during the summer, that will help your child be more familiar with them. For birthday treats during the year, we love to have birthday treats, but they don't have to be anything huge. You can bring cupcakes if you want, but sometimes it works just to bring the mini-sized candy bars or a pencil or some other non-food treat if you prefer to do it that way.
Yeah, and it's always good to double check if we have any allergies in the class before you bring something, just to make sure that everyone can participate.
We have PE. We're not exactly sure what day we will be having PE yet for next year. It's been on Fridays for us. We ask the children to wear tennis shoes or bring tennis shoes, especially during the winter. It's hard to run in boots. So one other note on that, when you're out shopping for school shoes, remember that your child will be climbing up ladders and sliding down slides and jumping rope. And even though little high heels are really cute and they look cute on the little girls, They are hard to climb and play in, and jump rope. So think of tennis shoes, something that your child can run and jump and play in.
And also for girls, it's really helpful if they are wearing skirts to have a pair of shorts on underneath, because a lot of times we are sitting on the floor or when they're playing out on the playground, we just want to make sure that they're covered.
And remember that when you're thinking about school clothes, they need to have sleeves or a wide strap at the top. They can be sleeveless, but no spaghetti straps.
So usually general rule, if you want to have it about the length of their hand going across. So this part right here would be what you'd want to have covered for it to meet the dress code. And also make sure it's not coming up too high on my tongue.
Okay. Also during the year we'll be doing lots of little books, and we will send home a box for you to put your books in. That won't come till after the first month or so of school. But when that box comes home, remember to keep your books and your puppets in it so that you have things to refer to at home and practice for reading and writing. They are stories that the children become familiar with, and it helps them as they learn to write as well. Remember that in our class we have discipline, and that the children are not in charge, that the teachers are in charge, and there will be 3 warnings. There will be consequences like having to sit out, having to put their head down, or losing a privilege. In order to maintain control and discipline in the classroom so that we can learn, we need to have those in place. So make sure that you are aware of those things and that the children will need to follow the rules at school. If you have a problem, give us a call. We're usually at the back door at the beginning and the end of school, but sometimes those are very chaotic times. So give us a call. We have a website that you can also email us, and then we will get back to you as quickly as we can. Not immediately, but as quickly as we can. So we hope that you have a great summer. Make sure that you do a couple of things like when your child comes to school, they need a backpack. They need something large enough to carry a book home. Some of the books that they take home at first are the size of this book. They become smaller later as they can read the books, but make sure that your backpack is not a teeny tiny backpack, that it's something that will hold a folder this size. Also, label the things that your child brings to school. You can write their name inside their backpack. You don't have it on the you don't need to have it on the outside, but oftentimes we have children who have the same backpack or the same coats, and it helps us if there are labels inside the coats and backpacks that the children bring to school.
Then one other thing that we really want to encourage you to do is to read to your children. I've taught kindergarten, I've also taught 3rd grade, and I've also seen as it's come up into 3rd grade, those kids who read regularly with their parents at home, by 3rd grade are so far ahead of all the other ones, and it starts in kindergarten. So if you can do nothing else during the day, take a few minutes and read a story with your kids. Eventually, throughout the year, we'll start giving them books that they can do the reading to you. So it starts out with you doing most of the reading to them, and then eventually they can start to pick out words that they know, and eventually then they can start reading some simple books. But every day, create that a habit. And we know that maybe, there are some days life happens that it may not happen, but as much as you can do that, if you only can do that, that's going to make such a big difference for your child. So get in the habit of reading, valuing books, and showing your child that that's important. We ask that you, during the school year, that you read for 20 minutes with your child every night. Although that can also include going over letter sounds and things like that. It's just literacy things. There will be take-home books that come home. Please try to make sure those get back in a timely manner. So the idea is it should come back the next day. Realizing once again, every once in a while something happens, and that may not happen every day. But as much as possible, please try to make sure they get their take-home books back every day. And just make sure that you build that habit with them.
Okay, great. We're excited to have you in kindergarten next year. Make sure that you're doing some responsibilities this summer, and remember that when your child comes to kindergarten, they will come in by themselves and hang up their own things. So teach them how to be responsible and take care of themselves. And we'll see you in the fall.
Have a wonderful summer.